วัสดีค่ะ
Nat,
Yes.
today I want to talk about something serious. Getting old and dying in Thailand. Something we ought to talk about though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody ought to think about it. It's a little bit too noisy here. I thought we'd be able to talk, but it's too noisy. So we're going to go sit where it's a little more quiet to talk about this, okay? All right.
We back.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this because I stumbled across a video and it caught my attention. It was called Growing Old in Thailand. And people and members have asked me about this before, you know, what happens when you get older here. So with a Thai family, you know, like in America, where I'm from, you get old and, you know, the government gives you Social Security, which is sometimes enough to survive, but as you get older and you need assistance, it doesn't quite cover it, so you're in a bind there as well. If you have family, not so much they want to take care of you as you get older in Western countries. It's not like tradition. But here, the culture here, what happens when you get older here, if you're an old person in a family?
The family take care of you.
Family takes care of you, that's right. And so people are asking, well, if you're a foreigner, what would happen? And so I saw this video with a guy talking about, I think his channel's name is Omega Alpha Occasionally, I think that's the channel name. Anyway, it was about getting old and while you're living in Thailand. So here, check this out, and then I have some comments because there's some things I wanted to add to what he talked about.
This video is about growing old in Thailand. I suppose if you're planning to come here, or if you are here, you're probably here for the long haul. And in that case, you will grow old, hopefully, in Thailand. I have started to notice physical limitations creeping in to my, you know, my daily activities. And you probably know this yourselves. If you are of a similar vintage. And when things like that start to become apparent, you begin to be more aware of your own mortality. And going hand in hand with that, you think to the future as how you will survive in a country that you're not a citizen in, and how will you be able to avail of the assistance that you're no doubt going to need as you grow older. Assistance in various capacities, let's say. Even the Thais can't rely on social welfare assistance as they grow older. So what do they need? They need a family structure, and that's exactly what happens. The Thais, the sense of family in Thailand is much stronger than it is in the West. I'm not saying it's not strong in the West. Obviously it's strong everywhere, but in Thailand it's out of necessity coupled with desire. The Thai family unit is very close. Thais are very family orientated, and that's the reason, because when you get older in Thailand, that's who you have to rely on. But as you get older in the West, it's not necessarily the case that you have to rely on your family, because the government steps in to provide. It doesn't happen here. But you see, as a foreigner, you get absolutely nothing in terms of support from social services, let's say, in Thailand. So you have to have some kind of network there to support you as you get older. And it's not just financial, because as we all know, money is great, but you can have all the money in the world, and if you're incontinent, and let's face it, lads, I mean, these are things that can happen. If you're say 78 or 90 or 80, whatever age it is, I don't know when these things happen, but let's say you're incontinent, and you develop some kind of disorder that renders you incapable of getting around the way you used to. Well, no amount of money is going to give you any degree of independence, let's say, because you're going to have to employ. Well, I suppose so. You'd have to employ someone to nurse you if you had the money, but that would cost a lot of money. So you need a family network. And that was one of the reasons my wife was adamant about having a child. And, I thought it was a bit strange because I was 47 when I came here. I met and married her within the first year. And straight away she started having to have a child. And I was almost 50. And of course, I didn't think having a child was a good idea as you're approaching 50. But for her, it was a necessity, because she said it to me, who's going to look after us when we're older? So you might say to yourself, yes, you'll have your state pension from your home country. Fair enough. But a state pension from your home country isn't much good to you if you're living alone and you don't have a network here of family. Because, as I said, you can have all the money in the world. You can't buy health. Simple as that. You can buy treatment, but you can't buy health. And eventually, all our health will fail. And that's one of the hard facts of knowing, or the things that you should know about if you're planning on living in Thailand and growing old and reaching your demise in Thailand. Growing old is the same as growing old. Is it the same as growing old elsewhere? Well, the concept of growing old here, it means that you're going to be more alone than you would if you were in your home country. I know everyone's situation is different, but generally speaking, for one, I'm happy to say that I can grow old in Thailand, because Thailand is my home and I have a family network. I wouldn't relish the prospect of growing old in Ireland, but if I had to, the structures are in place for me to be taken care of. Whereas here, they're not necessarily, unless you're married. So there you go. And should you desire to live your twilight years in Thailand or any other place similar, I hope you enjoy the support of a family network, because you'll need it.
So, he basically says if you don't have a family that you're associated with, like a wife and their family, that you're just going to probably die alone somewhere. And I don't necessarily agree with that, because help is inexpensive in Thailand. And I were talking about this the other day, that as a woman gets older, what age where it's hard for her to find work? They don't really want to hire women over a certain age. What age is that?
They start 18, finish 35 years old.
About 35 years old. It gets harder to find work, right? Because they want to hire the younger people. And so...
Done deal.
And that's done deal. So anyway, the point of that is you can find skilled nursing and people to help out rather inexpensively. In fact, Nat found a website which was in English, so I'm assuming that it's geared towards foreigners. And a nurse you can hire monthly at about 25,000 baht a month, and I'll put the exchange rate on the video. And you can just get like elderly care, where people come in and just sort of take care of you, where they don't have nursing skills, for about 15 to 20,000 a month. And so to me, that's a good option because you could have somebody come all day. In fact, Bruce, you know Bruce, we did, I think, 5 interviews with Bruce over the years. He was the trucker in America. He's still living here. He had a little mishap about 8 months ago, I guess, and he ended up in the hospital, and he hired somebody for 1,000 baht a day, which equals almost the same amount. He paid a little bit more than what this website was asking. Now remember, that's a website too, 25,000. That's not somebody knows somebody that needs some work. So you could probably get it even cheaper than that. But he was given 1,000 baht a day, and that was 24 hours. This lady would hang out 24 hours a day. And he would have her communicate for him in the hospital. She would go get food for him because he didn't want to eat the hospital food. She would take care of all the things he needed. And so to me, that is the option if you're not involved in a Thai family. You can actually hire somebody to live in. You could have a live-in person in your house. If you had 2-bedroom, they have their own room, they go shopping, they do everything. And you could actually have the care person, which is about 15,000 through that website, which you might be able to get less than that don't have the ability to be like, they don't have nursing skills, medical professional skills, and they could just hang out with you 24 hours of living, and then you could have the nursing come in, and I think it was between 500 and I think it was like 500 baht an hour or something, where a nurse could come in. So you could have a nurse come in for an hour or two a day, check your vitals or whatever you need, depending on your medical situation. And I think that's the way to go. And I wanted to add that to that video of what he said, because to me, he was basically saying you're pretty much out of luck if you don't have a Thai family here. And I don't necessarily agree with that. It is much better, though, if you have a Thai family.
Yeah, I think in Thailand, easy to hire people to work for you in the house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I work like that to take care of the kid, baby.
Matt started out very young at being a nanny.
Yeah.
And you would travel around with the family and take care of the kids. And so that was back in the prehistoric dinosaur age, so we won't talk about how much money you made.
From the work too low in that time.
Yeah, and you were young, so they didn't have to pay you too much.
Right.
But yeah, I thought that was a really good option. And speaking of health, I want to mention that I really highly suggest at this point, more than ever, that you consider having some kind of medical insurance. This is really important, especially if you ended up getting the jab, because the amount of people that are being affected by these, and it's increasing, even though the amount of uptake of boosters and all that stuff has decreased, the amount of adverse effects related to these are increasing. And that has a relative, 28 years old, that has what? What problem? Heart problems, either pericarditis or myocarditis. I have a relative back in the United States, hardly ever sick in her life, and now she's got an quick onset of stage 4 cancer, and they're calling these things turbo cancers, and these are becoming quite common.
There was a seemingly healthy 16-year-old athlete who dies suddenly.
A 14-year-old girl is battling stage 3 brain cancer.
She was diagnosed with breast cancer that spread to her lymph nodes. Sadia is only 36.
At the age of 34, she was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer and with no family history.
According to the numbers from a newly released study, a growing trend of younger people who are being diagnosed with late-stage cancer.
Researchers say they're finding more people, some as young as 30, with late-stage colon cancer.
A new study finds that late-stage cervical cancer cases are on the rise in the United States.
Kyle Limper was seemingly a healthy 16-year-old. He complained that his back was hurting. And when the pain didn't go away, they took him to urgent care and then over to Jefferson Hospital. And that's where doctors broke the news to Kyle's parents that his organs were shutting down due to leukemia. And within 24 hours of diagnosis, Kyle passed away.
Just a month ago, Macy and her family found out she was diagnosed with grade 3 anaplastic meningioma, an aggressive brain tumor.
My life was normal, and then a month ago, they found the mass.
Colon cancer at 40. It turns out Jones's cancer was bigger and had spread farther than doctors first thought. His story is becoming more common.
It's the faster rise, especially in these colorectal cancers and bile duct cancers and breast cancers.
Colon, esophagus, kidney, liver, and pancreas, along with others.
The scariest thing about that is that we actually don't know what is driving this uptick.
All in the healthcare community going, what's going on here?
You, as an oncologist, and you're from Canada, have been very focused and are sort of bringing this new term, I think, to light, which is turbo cancer. What does that mean?
Turbo cancer, it's a recent term. It arose in the public domain, and it really describes aggressive cancers that are arising in COVID-vaccinated individuals. It's showing up in young people in their 20s, 30s, 40s. The youngest case that I've reported was a 12-year-old boy who had one Moderna vaccine. 4 months later develops stage 4 brain cancer, and then 6 months later he died. And so this is something I've never seen before in my career. I've diagnosed probably 20,000 cancer patients in my career. I've never seen cancers behaving like this, and they grow very, very rapidly, and they present at a late stage. So one of the features...
What does that mean, present at a late stage? Because I feel like everything has an evolutional pattern, right? Like certainly, why is it just people don't feel it till it's too late? Or how would it get to that late stage without being recognized?
I think it's the rapid growth of the tumors. And they don't seem to be causing symptoms. So they only present when the tumors are quite large already. And they're pretty much stage 4. Stage 3, stage 4, that's when they're presenting. And some of these tumors can grow quite big. They can get 10 centimeters, even 15 centimeters, some of these masses, tumor masses. And oncologists are just shocked that they don't know what to do with these cancers. They struggle to treat them. Even if they try to surgically excise them, and they think that the tumor hasn't spread yet, they'll do the surgery, and then after the surgery, they'll find out that the tumor has actually spread already. It grows that quickly.
If you've been one of the ones that actually took some of those jabs or whatever, make sure that you hedge your bet. Hopefully nothing will ever happen. You'll be fine, no problem. But hedge your bet. And if you talk to Lot, I think is the way you pronounce his name, at Pacific Cross, and I'll put the link in the description, you can get a high deductible. You can eliminate outpatient because you won't need outpatient. You know, it's so cheap here to go to the hospital and get work done. One of our members, Tom, he's up in Udon Thani, and he did a CAT scan, physiotherapy, and all this stuff. It was like, what did I tell you, 175 baht or something like that? Crazy. And so you don't need the outpatient. You can have high deductible. You can adjust the amount of coverage and just keep it on the sideline or back burner in case something major happens. You have some kind of resources to deal with it. And even though these turbo cancers, as they're being called, aren't responding to traditional treatments very well, there are always
an option.
Yeah, there's some options for handling these cancers as well that aren't really talked about too much. And if you reached out to me, I could give you some information about that. But really, I'm concerned about the people here not only growing old and not having anybody around, because that doesn't sound like fun, does it? Be old and be lonely.
Maybe somebody like...
Yeah, maybe somebody... No, I think when you're old and you're sick and not feeling well and there's nobody around, probably wouldn't be good.
Yeah, if sick, yeah.
Yeah, as some people growing old get grumpier and want to be alone. But once you start getting sick and can't take care of yourself or go shopping for yourself or stuff like that, I think it's a good idea to have somebody. Yeah, hire somebody. And... in fact, our kids are getting old enough we can ship them out. You want to hire some kids for something? Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. I thought it was a really important topic. And if you want any kind of consultation, there's a link down in the descriptions for one-on-one consultations by phone or by Zoom. How's your coffee doing there?
Almost done deal.
Think about buying us a coffee if you found value in this. And yeah.
Thank you for the somebody buy
Yeah, thanks for the people that bought us some coffees. We really appreciate that because of the PayPal fiasco. The income that came in to do all the things that we do just got nixed, and that's putting a crimp on being able to do our charitable endeavors and things like that. So any help is really, really appreciated. And how do you all feel about this? Do you think hiring somebody would be a good option? Do you think going home to your home country would be a good option? Maybe that's an option for people that are from some of the European countries where I have socialized medicine, where you can say, okay, I'm done here, and go back and use whatever resources are available in your home country. You know, that's another option, right? Yeah, and so, but just wanted to give you that information. Hope it's helpful. Like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you in the next video coming soon. See ya.
Bye-bye.
JC and Nat out. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.